What's going on, baseball fans? Jeremy Laracuente here for the Baseball Banter Broadcast. And on this broadcast, we are going to be bantering about the state of the 2023 Texas Rangers. Now, before I get into it, there is a corresponding article up on laracuenteledger.com that details everything that we're about to go over in this video. So if you want to check that out for more in-depth analysis, links will be down in the show notes below. Now we begin looking at the Rangers' major acquisition. Now, the Rangers were one of the most aggressive teams this offseason, but their biggest acquisition is obviously Jacob deGrom. When you sign a player like Jacob deGrom, this is an absolute ace, a front-of-the-line, arguably best pitcher in baseball type of a signing. Now, that being said, there are questions about deGrom that we're going to get into in just a moment. But there's very little question that by bringing in a guy like Jacob deGrom, it really changes the outlook of the Texas Rangers. This is an organization that was very aggressive this offseason, as I said, bringing in multiple pitchers, completely revamping their starting rotation. But you really start with the ace in Jacob deGrom. Now, as we look at the significant injuries for the Texas Rangers, Jacob deGrom finds his name on this list again. When it comes to deGrom, there's always now seemingly the question of whether or not his health is going to hold up. This was a 5-year deal, $185 million contract for deGrom for the Rangers. This is going to be something that they really are going to have to try to manage. When it comes to the last several years for deGrom, he has not pitched, and that is the question mark. That is why this deal was so perplexing, so surprising, so shocking this offseason. Not just the fact that he went to Texas, not just the fact that he left the Mets, but the deal in and of itself was also a very much a shocking deal because of the tenure of the contract. I think that there's going to be some questions whether or not he's going to be able to be healthy for the long term. He already started at the negative spot, being delayed at the beginning of spring training. So real questions about whether or not deGrom is going to be able to be healthy throughout the course of this contract. So this is a significant injury to be concerned about each and every year for the Texas Rangers. Now, as we examine the top prospect for the Texas Rangers, it is third baseman Josh June. When you look at what Josh can be for the Texas Rangers, this is a powerhouse bat. There's a very high hit tool and power stroke for this player as he profiles based on the evaluators at MLB.com. There are going to be questions about his defensive ability and whether or not he's going to be able to maintain at least a league average approach at the defensive position that is third base. This isn't likely going to be a guy that wins a Gold Glove, but an adequate defender with a plus bat is a positive sign for the Texas Rangers. As we get into the bold prediction, that is Jacob deGrom will pitch 162 innings. Yes, as I just said, there are significant questions and concerns about the health of Jacob deGrom at all times. But I think that for this 2023 season, deGrom is going to come in healthy for the most part, be able to kind of manage his innings. I think the Rangers are going to be especially careful with his innings. So I believe that he is going to pitch 162 innings this season and be able to maintain a semblance of the absolute ace that we know him to be. Now, when it comes to the divisional rankings predictions, we have an article up on laracuenteledger.com as well as a video here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast where we said that the Texas Rangers are going to finish third in the division. I think that the revamping of their pitching staff really is going to be a benefit for this team. Yes, there's questions about the health and stability of that rotation because of the injury concerns that are surrounding many of those players. But I think that the vast majority of what that pitching staff is now going to be is going to allow the Rangers to really have a lot to bank on, a lot to look forward to, a stable of pitchers that are going to be able to get them through the grind. That being said, I think that there is still some questions about this offense, and by not really solidifying their depth in that position in that way, I think that there are going to be holes that allow them to finish behind the Mariners and the Astros in this division, finishing in third. Now, as I said, this is a very good pitching staff. So as we look at the scouting grade, it is going to be a B overall. I think that for the Rangers, the revamping of this pitching staff comes with caveats. Obviously, as I've said all along, health is going to be the biggest key for several of the players, several of the pitchers on the Rangers staff. But if they can keep them healthy, if they can manage their innings properly, I think that this could be one of the best starting rotations in a Major League Baseball. Now, that being said, again, all predicated on health. Jacob deGrom is absolutely one of the best pitchers we've seen in a Major League Baseball over the last decade. I also believe that the way that they've brought in the players and the pitchers that they've brought into this staff can truly help the Rangers maintain the course over a long 162-game season. But it is all going to be based on health. This could be a rotation that absolutely skyrockets and pushes past a B overall grade. But if the health comes into play, that we know it can, it could very easily fall below that. But for now, a B overall grade. Now, when it comes to grading out the offense, this is a C+ overall. I do believe that the Rangers are strong up the middle. I like Mitch Garver, I like Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, and I think that there's an opportunity that the Rangers could go out, be aggressive during the trade season, and try to make some changes to this lineup. As they are presently constructed, there are players to be excited about in this lineup, but there are real questions and real holes to me in several key spots on this Rangers offense. And I think that for Texas, they are going to be in a very strong battle for the wild card, but I don't think that they're going to be anywhere near the top of this division. The Astros are just too strong. The Mariners are going to be significantly better than them, in my opinion. And it's going to come down to the fact that the offense, to me, is just not quite yet up to par. I think that they are very close. They're at the precipice of being a good offensive team. But there are going to be serious questions that they have to fill out, places and vacancies that they have to solidify in order to compete with the two teams ahead of them. Now, when it comes to grading out the offseason, I think it's an average grade. Yes, they were very good in terms of adding to that starting rotation. I think that they needed more help in the bullpen and a ton more help offensively. I think that if the Rangers were to go out and try to make some moves maybe early in the season or at least by the deadline to re-solidify and kind of improve that offensive capabilities, this could be a very formidable team in the wild card hunt. But as this offseason went down, I don't think that they necessarily did enough to really insulate themselves to deal with potential injuries, not just to the pitching staff, but also to the offensive lineup. I think that there are going to be questions about what they have in the minor leagues to be able to really push forward to the top in the major league level. And for the Texas Rangers, they're going to be in a significant battle. They're going to be dealing with the Mariners ahead of them. There's significant teams in the American League East in that wild card hunt. There's going to be teams in the Central that are going to be in that wild card hunt. So for Texas, I think that they needed to have done more this offseason to really push themselves higher up that potential rankings for the wild card race. So it's an average grade overall because I did like the moves that they made to improve their starting rotation. I think they needed to have done more. Now, as we grade out the franchise as a whole, it's a C+ grade. I think that there's a lot to like about the foundation and the groundwork that has been laid on this team. There's no doubt that the ownership group of this team is invested in this team and trying to spend money. They opened up a brand new ballpark over a couple seasons ago, and they are still trying to figure out and get their footing underneath them. I think that they have made significant strides this offseason to revamp that pitching staff. A couple off seasons ago, they added Seager and Semien to kind of improve the offense and start to build that foundation as well. I think the foundation is being built, but I don't necessarily know exactly how close they're going to be this season to really competing atop this division. There's a very, very strong, arguably the best team in baseball in the Astros ahead of them in this division. The Mariners are significantly better, in my opinion, in this division. There's going to be serious questions about what the Rangers are going to be able to do in terms of their depth to be able to try to compete with those two teams just to deal with the AL West, not even accounting for the rest of the teams in the American League in that wild card race. For me, the Rangers are going to be a team that is going to be a much better team than what it was in 2022. They are also going to be a team that is capable of surprising some people. I think that there are the makings of a very good team in the next coming 2 to 3 seasons for the Texas Rangers. I don't know necessarily that 2023 is that year, but I want to hear from you. Let me know, Rangers fans, how are you feeling about your team's chances in 2023? Where will they end up? What kind of record are they looking at? And where do you see them landing in terms of the postseason hunt? Let me know all these things down in the comments below, or you can find me over on Twitter at banter_baseball, where we can keep the conversation rolling. Now, if you want to show more support for us, you can follow our social media channels on Instagram and TikTok at Baseball Banter Broadcast. You can also head over to laracuenteledger.com. It is our website where we write new articles daily, mostly covering the world of Major League Baseball, and the corresponding article to this video is on the site. Again, links to that will be down in the show notes below. If you want to show more support even beyond that, head over to our merchandise shop, baseballbanterbroadcast.com, where you can do a huge service and help us grow this family, this baseball community, by repping the Baseball Banter Broadcast. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, you know the deal. Hit that subscribe button and the bell if you haven't already, as most of our audience is not yet subscribed to this channel. So we are trying to grow this baseball community here on the Baseball Banter Broadcast, and you can help us do that by hitting the subscribe. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast listening platform, make sure you leave a 5-star rating and review, as it does help us increase our reach to try to grow this community. So I want to thank you once again for tuning in. Keep it locked in all season long as we continue to banter about the world of baseball.